All right, welcome back, ladies and gents, to the weekly walk and talk. And don't let this sun here that's blinding me fool you. It is freezing cold today. That's why I'm wearing my most warm sweater here and my woolly hat. And also we're walking down this road here, but we're probably not going to see any cars, and I'll explain why in a second. But this video today, we're going to be going over, I'm bringing back the crazy stories, and I've got some absolutely insane stories for you today. But the reason we won't be seeing many cars on this road today is because even when I left my house and was driving here, it actually rained overnight and it's freezing. So I don't think a lot of people realize that there is black ice everywhere. So just coming out of my house and onto the main road, I saw the first car within 30 seconds that had slid, hit 3 bushes and ended up hitting the wall. And as I was laughing, driving by, I looked in and there was a lady in the car. So yeah, I wiped the smirk off my face very quickly to help her, poor thing. But on the way driving here, I saw more and more cars, and it made me think that a lot of people just don't seem to realize that when it rains and it's freezing, you get ice on the roads. That's why you got to drive really, really carefully. But anyway, let's get into the first crazy story, and let's see if I'm right about no cars coming down this road today, because it's so icy. I don't think anyone is crazy enough apart from me to actually drive down here. So let's start with the first crazy story then. Oh my goodness, it's taken me a while, taken me 2 days actually, to actually really think this through as how I'm going to explain this, because it's so far out there that some of you are still not going to believe it. You're going to have to verify this one for yourself. So do you remember in the film The Matrix, remember Keanu Reeves, Neo and Morpheus? Morpheus actually explains to Neo about how human beings are no longer born, that they're grown, and that the machines have all these, I guess we can call them human factories, I don't know if that's the best word for it, where they're just growing these pods of humans and they liquefy the humans, and it turns it into an energy source for the machines after the humans used nuclear warheads and blotted out the sun, which didn't work to stop the machines. And you probably watched that and, like me, thought, wow, that's really, really crazy and sci-fi kind of thing there, and there's just no way that would ever happen in a million years. Well, hey, guess what? They have just announced this. Let me tell you what this is called. Okay, it's called ectolife, where you grow your own baby. It says that you no longer need to give birth and you can actually grow your own babies. And it's really, really crazy. I don't even know where to start with telling you all the things that you can do. But there was one thing that shocked me. It wasn't you can choose your eye color and the hair color and the skin color. And it's got all this stuff about racism and everything else. Yeah, if you're white parents, you can choose another skin color apart from white because you don't want to be blah, 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 blah. All this crap that they keep saying. Yeah, of course. As if, let's say my wife and I were doing this, not that we would. Why would we choose a skin color other than white just because we wouldn't want people to think we were a racist? I mean, all this nonsense really gets on my nerves. It makes me angry sometimes, some of this stuff that they're pushing out. But he's saying that they can grow up to 30,000 babies per year in each unit. So in each facility, they're calling it, they can grow 30,000 babies per year. And the inventor says that within 10 years, so within a decade, children in the Western world, developed world, will no longer be born, they will be grown. And there's all this legislation that's going to be coming, down the pipeline and all this to bring this about. And I guess the key thing that we keep hearing is in the Western world, right? All this stuff, it's crazy how fast this collapse is happening, all these changes. But it's always the same thing in the Western world, in the G20, in this, in that. So simple solution, if things absolutely go even more crazy than they already are, just get out of the Western world. Go and live in Mexico or South America, Southeast Asia, somewhere like that, and just get out of the Western world before you get trapped in the cities and all this other stuff. By the way, have you watched what I mentioned, that film Equilibrium? I talked about it last week. Loads of people messaged to say they'd watched it and they were really shocked by it, because one of the things I talked about was these, you know, people that live inside the city, and then you've got your groups that live outside the city. Let me just show you the background for a second here so you know where we are. Look at this. Beautiful, huh? This is beautiful. I get to see this every day. I can walk here as much as I want. We still haven't seen a single car. Yeah, so what happened was, and you can read into a lot more of the film Equilibrium, there's, you know, book and things like that. But think of it this way. You had these two types of civilization. You had those that lived inside the city and did everything that the overlord said, and then you had those that lived outside the city. So what actually happened in the end was, eventually, those that lived inside the city had their own military, just like we have now, and they ended up hunting all the people that lived outside the city, and, you know, all the farmers and all that. And when I say hunted, I mean killed. That is what they actually did. These teams went out and they just killed anyone who wasn't part of the people living inside the city. For what reason? No reason at all. It's not like they were attacking them or anything like that. They were just minding their own business. So it is a great movie. But one other thing that I wanted to point out with this ecto-life, growing babies in the future, is that if you listen to this promotional video, I think everyone's missed what they said, because all the news agencies and things have started picking up on it now. I saw it this morning. I should have got this out yesterday, really, but anyway, better late than never. And they haven't realized what they actually said. Let me just read this out. You can track your baby's health from the comfort of your, and people think it said phone or home. No, it didn't say that. It said you can track your baby's health from the comfort of your zone, Z-O-N-E. I am not making this up at all. It was these couples sat at home, and that's what it said. Let me play the clip for you now.
These data are sent directly to your phone so you can track your baby's health from the comfort of your zone. Your zone.
So how crazy was that then? All these things I talk about, people think I'm nuts, but it's just that they don't hear what I hear. I pick up on even the slightest little thing, like the word zone. And what else have we had announced? Elon Musk has said that the Neuralink chip now is at human trial stages. So within 6 months, that's it. We're going to be at the stages of human trials now. How, again, really, really worrying. And it's interesting. I know some of you, are not Christian, or you don't believe in God and things like that. But if you've ever read the book of Revelation, it's crazy a lot of the things that are coming true at the moment. So many of them. Right from the Euphrates River drying up, and those, what were they? Those holes that were found underneath. They were like prisons, because that's what it talks about, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse being released from these 4 prisons under the Euphrates. What else was there? The leopard, what was it called? The leopard eagle creature will appear. Well, that appeared outside the United Nations building as an art installation, they called it. Just all these things, the mark of the beast, and all these different things it talks about. It's crazy and really bizarre how we're seeing a lot of this stuff. I'll leave you to make of what you want of that, but I just find it pretty worrying and disturbing, actually. But anyway, talking of the mark, Elon Musk's brain chip trial will be ready soon. It's going to be implanted in the head. And you've got this new trial of the hand, the right hand. They want to put this chip in people's hand. That trial is also going ahead at the moment. It went fairly well in Sweden. A lot of people liked it. So that's your other one. And remember, it talks about that if you don't have these marks in the future, you won't be able to transact. You won't be able to go through the city gates, as it said. Obviously, things were written very differently back then. But then when you think about what I talked about, with these 2 types of civilizations running side by side, one of them living in the city, one of them living outside the city and needing this mark and everything else. Okay, we'll take a little detour this way for a few minutes then. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was these 6 people that have been arrested. MEPs, members of the European Parliament. Isn't that a surprise? These people that are supposed to be whiter than white, they are, here for you, here to serve you. It's not about the money. and there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of euros have been found that they've been taking bribes. And I'll tell you another thing that, again, won't surprise any of you who follow this channel, but it's all about hiding in plain sight. You remember I did a video on this and I've talked about this before. It's all about hiding in plain sight. And that's what these people do. And I'll give you an example here. So the main person that was arrested was this Eva Kali. She was the Greek MEP. Okay, she was the vice president of the European Union, or one of the vice presidents. Okay, it's not like she was just a backbencher, someone like that. She was a vice president who took the most amount of money, although they're saying, oh, you can't say that until it's proven in court. Okay, well, we'll see. The other one was Francesco. Gosh, the wind's really picked up just as I need to read off a piece of paper here. Ugh. So this is the partner. He has confessed apparently, but we'll see. Another guy here, Pier Antonio Panzeri. All right, are you ready for this one? He runs a human rights group, Fight Impunity. He has been charged. Okay, so he's hiding in plain sight. Also, Pierre's wife and daughter have been arrested. The other one, Nicolo Figa Talamanca, who runs the lobby group No Peace Without Justice. What else is going on in Europe then? Well, following on from what we talked about yesterday, hey, what did you think of that video? Pretty nuts, huh? Well, they've gone back to burning coal again. Yes, they are not advertising that, are they? They've gone back to burning coal all over again. Oh boy, it just makes me laugh. But the one that doesn't make me laugh is this staggering amount of EU citizens that are now rushing to food banks. These statistics are mind-blowing, but I think these headlines are hilarious. Inflation is running rampant and everyone knows why. Putin's attack on the stability of the European Union. Say what? Putin attacked the European Union, did he? Okay, here we go again. These stories, and again, if you're new to the channel, I'm not a Putin lover or anything like that. Don't worry. I'm very neutral on everything, or at least try and be. But what I do is I look at the absurdity of statements and stories that get put out, and it's just nuts. It makes absolutely no sense. So let me just break this down. Putin somehow attacked the European Union. Well, actually what happened, Russia attacked Ukraine. So we can say that is a fact. We know that happened. Now, again, I'm not going to get into all the semantics and everything around that, the reasons that it's very, very contentious, or all these different things that if we get into all of that. But we'll just stick to the facts. Yes, he attacked Ukraine. Ukraine is not part of the EU. They're also not part of NATO. So to say that he attacked the European Union and deliberately tried to destabilize the Union is just, I just don't see the evidence for that at all. I don't see where they're getting this story from. And I also don't see how he can have caused all these food shortages that are now going through the EU. And I don't see how he apparently caused the energy shortages that are in the EU. The EU caused the energy shortages by sanctions and refusing to take the energy. That is the fact. I know some of you don't like it when I say that, but that is the fact of the situation here. If Europe or the UK or anyone else wanted energy tomorrow from Russia, they would deliver the energy to us. And again, listen to what I'm saying. I'm not defending Russia in any way with that statement. I'm just saying that is a fact. If we wanted the energy, we could get it tomorrow. That's it. But let me just tell you some of these statistics. So EU food bank usage is up by over 100% this year, and that's up 75% on the 2020 year, and that's up again over 2019. So I don't know how many hundreds of percent this is up by. But the other problem, if you think about this logically, is that food bank usage is up, but donations will be down. Why will donations be down? Because the people that may have had some spare food, you know, if you go into your supermarket, there's usually a food bank donation basket, and you might have a few odd things, and you might have some extra items, and you put that in there at the end of your shop every time you go. I know that my wife and I do. We put a lot of food in there each time. But not only that, we donate money to the food bank. We donate huge amounts of food. I think one year we donated a whole truck full of food because there was a serious issue where we lived. But the other problem they're talking about is that 20%, so this is 2019 statistics, 20% of people just couldn't heat their homes. They couldn't heat their homes before this whole crisis kicked off. And I heard that and I thought, that can't be right. Surely these statistics are wrong. So I had to look into it. And I guess I did not understand Europeans the way I thought, because I did not know that 20% of Europeans could not heat their homes. They couldn't afford energy to heat their homes. Because whenever I think of Europe, I think of France and Germany and some of these, wealthier countries, but there's a lot of poor countries as well in Europe. All right, but I wanted to end with a couple of crazy stories. But before that, just to let you know, there's a situation developing in Peru. They have declared a national emergency, and I haven't got to the bottom of what's going on there yet. But it looks like similar to what happened in Brazil and all these other countries. But I have to be very, very careful what I say on this platform. Anything to do with elections, you've got to be super careful. But it looks like there could be something strange going on there as well. When I get to the bottom of it, I will know. But I know they've declared a national emergency there, and there's riots and all sorts just kicking off in the streets. Okay, let's end with two crazy stories then. This one, how am I going to say this one without this video getting flagged? I'm not sure. But there's something called the human space pause, trying to beat the algorithm here, meat project. Yes, you heard. Think about that a second. You know what? Meat project. This is not a joke. Look this up. Google it and you will find this. This is how crazy the world is becoming now. I mean, they're not even hiding a lot of this stuff. It's worrying. Let me just say that. It is really worrying, all of these nuts stories. And the other one, which is, I don't even know how to describe this, but if you are American, conservative Christian, you're not going to like this one. I was looking into, you know how people report YouTube videos all the time, and they want to get these videos taken down. I thought it might be the latest documentary on Suddenly. You know what it's called, Suddenly. I thought that might be it. Well, that is it. A lot of requests to take down that. But the most heavily requested music video it is to be taken down is the theme tune. Gosh, I should have written this down. But it's the theme tune that's used on, was used on Trump's campaign. And I'm proud to be an American. You know that one.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
So I thought, why on earth would this have been requested, this music video, to be taken down so much? Oh, it's racist. Oh, it's this, it's that. So I watched it and I just thought it was a brilliant video. Now, is it racist? No, it's just a white American family saying grace. Some of them are military, or they're veterans and things like that. He's farming his land. I've never seen this music video before. All of you Americans have probably seen it 1,000 times. But I watched that and just thought, what a brilliant music video. So why that is being requested to be removed so much, I don't know. So you've got to look at all the reasons. It's quite funny if you want to actually read that. They say it doesn't represent American values and all this other stuff. Oh man, your country is going down the pan. It is so weird to be an outside observer of all of this stuff. But all right, that is it for today's walk and talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you on Tuesday now for the next installment. Take care, God bless, see you soon.